Hey guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rides. I'm back at one of my favorite locations because guess what? We have a super sleeper, super grocery go-getter. This is the refresh, updated 2021 Mercedes AMG E63 S, and of course, we got the wagon. So before we dive into this twin turbocharged muscle car of a wagon, let's talk about what's going on here. AMG. When you hear those letters or see them attached to the Mercedes nameplate, you know you're going to get such a high end of performance that's going to separate you from the rest of the pack. Now, the E-Class is receiving a refresh for 2021. The great news is that Mercedes is keeping this wagon of edition, and if you go the AMG route, you're going with that full power potential. Now, when I say full power potential, we're talking about 0 to 60 time that would put you with an Acura NSX or an Audi R8. And then of course you're getting that four-door usability and tons of cargo space to where you'll be the fastest getting to Costco and making it back home. One thing is for certain, Mercedes is making some changes for 2021 to really just up the level, up the ante, and this car going up against the all new for 2021 as well, Audi RS6 Avant. So let's go ahead, let's dive in and see, is this the better muscle car wagon and supercar beater known as the Mercedes AMG E63 S? Right off the bat, you're gonna notice that color. It's called Brilliant Blue Magno. It's a custom color from the factory. Absolutely mind-blowing how it just attracts people's attention when they see this vehicle going down the road or even sitting in a parking lot. When we start up at the front of the business, you're gonna see some changes. So we have a whole new headlight design. You're gonna have LED daytime running lamps, your headlamps and turn signals. Love the way it's all blacked out on the interior, and really digging the way they shaped their daytime running lamp, especially the way it kind of hooks right in the corner. Now, as you drop down those massive corner vents on an AMG product like this, full functional. So you're gonna have that horizontal bar there. Everything else is gonna be wide open. I like the way they kind of extend the front fascia off just a tad and they bring it down. That's gonna give us downforce. And I'm telling you, this thing is not only a rocket in a straight line, it could go through the twisty bits just as well as some of those supercars that we talk about. And this thing, like I said, all-wheel drive, twin turbocharged wagon. Now, as we drift across the center, you're gonna see a new updated grille design. I'm really digging the vertical slots with the horizontal portions to it. And our particular E63S has the optional black chrome trim on those vertical slots. Really just gives it that perfect look for this vehicle. And it's one of those things that if you know what it is and you see this, you know not to mess with it, because when it goes on throttle, watch out. As we drop down, love the way you see that beautiful brilliant blue Magno color across the midsection. Then we drop down a little bit further, we have the optional carbon fiber package as well. So this front splitter, lip extension, beautiful carbon fiber. But you'll notice the way the hood just kind of drifts downward. Really great overall look. And then of course we got the AMG badge. This is a true AMG car. Now when we get up onto that hood, I'm digging more and more. Every time I do a Mercedes review, I really like the simplicity in the hood. So you're gonna get those two bulges, not just one bulge, you get two bulges that rise and then they disappear as you go towards the windscreen. Actually just gives it that wonderful balanced proportion look. Now when we wrap around the bend, I do like the way you could really see that beautiful fender work that's going on here. And then we're gonna have all new wheels set up for 2021. So we have the forged AMG wheels. These are 20-inch wheels. Love the flat black. Even the way they put this center cap here, it hides the lug nuts and it makes it look like one of those center locking lug racing wheels. Great overall look. One thing you'll notice that I want to point out, even if you didn't notice, those gold calipers. When you see those gold calipers, I'm going to call them the gold finger of the braking caliper world. Those are Brembo carbon ceramic brake rotors. So this has an optional carbon ceramic brake rotor. The size of those rotors, over 15 inches, two-piece. So you have an aluminum hat and those carbon ceramic rotors, larger than any pizza you ever eaten. And guess what? Those gold finger calipers are gonna stop this AMG E63S on a Euro and give everybody throughout the whole continent of Europe change. That's 100% truth. You could take that to the bank and deposit that euro. But if you're wondering, well, Joe, what's the size of this setup? You're looking at 265 on the width, 35 series sidewall, and like I said, 20-inch wheel. Of course, we're gonna have adaptive dampers, all four corners, and for 2021, they reworked the suspension and the chassis setup on this E63 S. Now, as we go down the fender, I like the ornamental carbon fiber trim that they have here. Not really trying to look like a fake vent or anything like that. You got that V8 bi-turbo 4MATIC Plus. So when you see 4MATIC Plus, you know that that is Mercedes' coveted all-wheel drive system that I'm telling you is gonna launch this thing like a cruise missile. Gloss black on the mirror caps. I am gonna zonk it. I wish it was carbon fiber. With that carbon fiber package, would have been nice to have carbon fiber mirror caps, but I do like the gloss black along the top and the bottom of the window frames. For the doors, you have flat black, very, very low roof rails. We have the panoramic sunroof. I'm a little confused on why they brought chrome into the discussion here. If this is an AMG, we got the carbon fiber package, we got the blacked out grille package, this should be black chrome up here. So I am gonna zonk this area, but one thing I'm not gonna zonk is gonna be as we drop down, look at that lower sill extension, full carbon fiber, and it flares out towards the rear of the vehicle, looking really classy. Up top, it's interesting. It would have been great if they would have just blacked out the roof. So I am gonna zonk that to just make it all look like one massive piece of black glass up here. But you know what? The blue Magno color kind of doesn't make it stand out as much as if the vehicle was white, for example. Now, when we get to the rear, guess what? 265s up front. Out back, we have 295 on the width. Still a 30 series sidewall, 20-inch wheel, and you can see the carbon ceramic rotors that we have out back. But that is gonna allow you to get extra grip at the rear, because even though it's all-wheel drive, you could transfer all of the power. There's actually a rear-wheel drive option where you could transfer all the power to the rear wheels, and having the little bit skinnier wheel and tire setup gives you quicker steering. Now, as we come around the back, I really dig the rear quarter window, the way they shape it. I'm glad they don't extend it all the way back. I think it fits it perfect into that whole sleeper look. Personally, when comparing this to the RS6, it definitely has an overall cleaner design. And I do like the way there's not a ton of gloss black up front like on the RS6. The one thing I wish this did have is just a little bit of fender flare, especially at the rear, because that's one thing. The RS6 has these massive flared out fenders. But as we come to the rear, you do have a very, very low roof spoiler. I wish they would have taken the rear glass wiper and integrated it underneath, so I am gonna zonk that part, but definitely the AMG badge, this should have been black chrome, but what they did for 2021 is they refreshed the taillights just like the headlights. We got our E63 S badge. When you see this, don't mess with it. You're gonna get your doors blown off. And as we drop down, absolutely love how they reworked the whole rear diffuser. So you have your carbon fiber, we got our quad tip exhausts. They are decorative, but there are exhaust outlets behind the decorative tips. AMG branding. Look at this thing from the back, absolutely beautiful. Why don't we go ahead, let's pop the hood and see what's powering our E63 S wagon. All right, guys, we got the hood popped. You do have hydraulic hood struts. Underneath that hood is that AMG goodness. Now, one thing I want to point out is I love the way they have the handcrafted badge here to let you know who hand assembled your 4-liter bi-turbo V8. The people that put these engines together have a master's degree in engineering and have to go through a 2-year apprenticeship. So what you're looking at is that 4-liter bi-turbo V8, 603 horsepower, 627 pound-feet of torque. It's all mated to a 9-speed automatic transmission, and getting power to the ground like you're clawing at it just like a Jaguar or a Puma or a Tiger is gonna be that 4MATIC Plus all-wheel drive system. 0 to 60, 2.9 seconds. Quarter mile is gonna blaze by at 11 flat at 127 miles an hour. Top speed is limited, but guess what it's limited to? 180 miles an hour. MPGs, not too bad considering. 16 in the city, 22 on the highway, and this vehicle weighs around 4,600 pounds. So let's just chew on that a little bit. Like as if you got a piece of beef jerky in your mouth, one of those like rawhide ones that you're just kind of chewing on. Let's chew on that for a second. This thing does 0 to 60 2.9 seconds, yet weighs 4,600 pounds. That to me is unbelievable. I love looking underneath the engine cover and seeing the bi-turbo setup. You can see all the air inlets, but you know what? Let's get to the better part. Let's fire up this beast and hear what it sounds like. All right, guys, we're inside this 2021 AMG E63 S wagon. You know, it's a shame that wagons are not more popular in the United States. If you go over to different other countries in the world, even continents, you look at the continent of Europe, wagons are where it's at. What's great about this wagon is that it keeps that center of gravity low for perfect handling instead of being high up in an SUV. But I know you're at that point where you're like, Joe, I definitely need a family hauler, a grocery go-getter. I'm like you. I'm sick of SUVs. Puh, I hate SUVs. But this wagon really has my heart pitter-pattering. How much is it? MSRP starting is around $114,000. This one is optioned up to $149,000. Let's see what you get for the money to the door panels. Absolutely love what's going on there. Full leather. Love the yellow contrast stitching, the carbon fiber. You got heated seats, ventilated seats, the usual setup for your seat controls from Mercedes Benz with 3 memory settings. But look at the midsection of that door panel there. The way that they have the diagonal stitching, so classy, so soft, so sexy. And then a massive door pocket where guess what? You could put a bottle of milk and get yourself a massive Whopper from Burger King and just throw it in there. As we go from the door panel to the dash, one thing I love is how far the dash is forward. That yellow stitching, they went crazy with it. It looks like a racetrack in here with all this stitching, and it's beautiful, soft touch material, carbon fiber. So when you're comparing this to the RS6 Avant, there's a bunch of gloss black. We have carbon fiber. That's what we have. Ambient lighting is a little difficult to see because of the level of light that we have, but you have 64 different colors. It's like going to Baskin-Robbins twice in the amount of flavors you get in colors, which is absolutely perfect. And then guess what? If you like screens, we have screens for you. So you have not only 1, but 2 over 12-inch screens. Our infotainment system screen is separate from the digital gauge pod, and I'm happy about that. I also like the way they did the hood to kind of keep that glare off. But what's great about this system is, first of all, the size. You're never gonna be unhappy with 12 inches. Another thing that's great is that it's touchscreen. But here's the good news. If you don't like touch screens or you don't want to touch the screen, I'm going to show you a cornucopia of other ways on how to get into the system. So you do have the AMG Track Pace, which is an awesome system when you're doing your track days. Yes, you could do track days in a wagon. We have our AMG Performance setup. So you have things like a G meter. You have that engine data. I always like, if I have a passenger in the car, bringing this up because it shows the actual engine data as you're driving down the road. Just really nice touches. You could go into your dynamic select section where you could go through your different modes. We have a ton of different modes, and guess what? On top of the modes, you're gonna be able to send, like I said, all the power in the back in a, they're not calling it drift mode, but we all know, you and I, the true car enthusiasts, that this thing has drift mode. Let me go ahead and throw it into reverse. Cameras, clear as day. You got your 360, you got all that sensory protection. You could go through the different angles so easy. Look out front, do panoramic, whatever you need, you have in this AMG. And then we're gonna put it back in the park and we're right back to home. Love the aeronautical style AC vents, really nice quality. You got your start stop button. If you don't want to do AC controls on the screen, you have all your AC controls right here, dual climate of course. And then you keep working your way down. We have more buttons to access the different things like your navigation, your radio, carbon fiber. Somebody spilled a bucket of carbon fiber in here and I don't need a cleanup on aisle 7. So I'm glad that they just spilt it and left it here. AMG badging makes you feel good, makes you know that, hey, you made it happen. You got an AMG product. Open that sucker up. You got your 2 cup holders. We have wireless charging, a USB-C, and then here is your AMG key fob. This is the one that everybody dreams of that likes Mercedes Benz products. AMG logo there. Looks just as sexy as this interior. Absolutely beautiful. And then when you thought it wasn't enough, you actually have a trackpad as well. So if you don't like touching the screen, if you don't want to hit switches, you could actually use the trackpad, and guess what? This system is as easy as 1, 2, 3 and really works very well on top of that. Plus you could go into your different settings with dynamic and everything. I'm gonna have Lori kind of show the screen again to showcase the different modes. So you have slippery when wet. That's the Bon Jovi mode, I like to call it. You could individually have everything set up perfect to the way you want it. Comfort, sport, and if you keep clicking, Sport Plus, and then guess what? You thought we're done? Hell no. Watch this, we got one more. Full race mode. That's what you get in this vehicle. I'm gonna put it back real quick into comfort just while we're sitting here. You could open and close the exhaust. You got your volume knob, and then look at this. Look at the leather, the stitch work. 1, 2, 3, bombs away. So we have felt lining, 2 USB-Cs. You're easily gonna be able to fit 8 Twinkies. And you know what? You beat the people that race you at the track and whatnot, throw them a Twinkie. That's the least you could do after they have. And the funny thing is, their mouth is gonna be wide open. When this wagon blows away their Charger, their Challenger, their Mustang, their Camaro, even their Corvette, you can just take a Twinkie and just throw it right in their mouth because their jaw's gonna be dropped. And you're gonna have to help them pick up their doors because you just blew their doors off. Close that up. Seats, sexiness. Love the beautiful headrests with all of the ornamental work here. You got the AMG badge. You have Alcantara, the leather, perforated, nice size bolstering, of course, full electric assist. The one thing I would want are the one-piece back race seats. I think in this car, it would just be the cherry on top. And then, speaking of on top, we have this beautiful panoramic sunroof, nice size glass here, and then we have glass for the people in the back. You got a frameless auto-dimming mirror, which is wonderful, and plenty of headroom in here. So there's that nice frameless mirror, plenty of headroom, Alcantara. So if you're feeling a little sad, like on a rainy day, and you're missing your puppy or your kitty cat that's home, just pet your Alcantara headliner. Feels just about the same. But why don't you come over here, because I have a race car steering wheel I want to show you in this wagon. All right, guys, here we are, business time. This is exactly where you want to be, I promise you that. I love the beautiful sill plate, AMG badging, lights up at night, and this thing has LED lights all over the place. You're gonna have your brushed aluminum brake pedal and throttle. My only zonk is the dead pedal. First of all, it's not very large. Second of all, it would be nice to have a brushed aluminum dead pedal to match everything else. Steering wheel though, spot on the money. Massive width to it. I love the Alcantara, the smooth leather, the yellow contrast stitching that crisscrosses. You have your AMG badge, and then check it out. You actually have TFT switch gear. So if you want to go in those different modes, you just twist and you go into different modes right away. This is all new steering wheel for 2021. The one thing I am going to zonk is the horn button. Not the prettiest of horn buttons, but you have larger paddles to go up and down that 9-speed automatic transmission. And like I said, the thickness, this is exactly what Lewis Hamilton would want in his Formula One car. And then the dash, like I promised you, another 12 inches of visual display. You could change all of that instrumentation in the center. You got nice large tach, nice large speedometer, and then tons of different readouts that you could do as you're going down the road. You see how I'm switching that center portion? So easy, so smooth. The graphics are great, and you have a head-up display, which is an option, with your tach, your gear indicator, speedometer, and a little speed sign to let you know what the speed limit is to see how far you're going over it as you're going down the road. But let's check out the back seat and see how your passengers are going to be enjoying going to 0 to 60 in 2.8 seconds in this AMG E63. All right, guys, obviously one of the big benefits of an E-Class is you have a little bit larger size on the interior, and going the wagon route, everybody's going to sit at a nice level, keep that center of gravity low. You can see how we have that nice glass roof above us. Really gives us an open air feel in here. What I love about the seats is you get that leather. We have some nice soft material, and then you're gonna have a pocket right here. Easily put a book, put a mirror. Have your kids talk to somebody themselves. They got to love themselves before they can love somebody else. So have them put a mirror in there, maybe even a back scratcher. You have 2 AC vents that actually mimic the same AC vents up front. And then look at this. This is where you're going to have your 12 volt, and you have a place for some atomic fireballs, because that's how hot this car is. It's atomic fireball hot. Close that up. I have my own pocket here. Plenty of headroom. The Alcantara is wonderful. The seats are great. Ambient lighting. And then check this out. Good size on the armrest. It is hard, but that's because we have a nice place here for you to put maybe that really rare Hot Wheels car. I don't know if you know which one I'm talking about. The van that has the surfboards on top. It's worth a ton of money. You could put it in here and it's not going to get scratched. That's the good news. Hot wagon, Hot Wheels go right in there. Close that up, and then you have your 2 cup holders. Get yourself a super big gulp, because you're going to want to suck it down for this one. And then it flips right back. Boom. Why don't we go ahead though? Let's check out that cargo area and see how many cases of race winning Twinkies we're going to need to buy. All right guys, cargo area time, real simple. You hit the button right underneath that Mercedes Benz logo. As it goes up, nice electric assist. I like the way it pulls the cargo shade out of the way. Very low loading floor, very flat. Love the amount of size in here. And if you're wondering, well, Joe, how much size is there? You're looking at 35 cubic feet of space with the seats up. Fold the seats down, you're now looking at 64 cubic feet of space. So you're definitely gonna have plenty of room to go do that Costco run, get those super big boxes of Twinkies. Maybe if you're hoarding some of that Charmin that I see on the news that people are doing, you could just load this up with a bunch of Charmin. But here's the thing that I would do. Get yourself a couple chairs, a pop-up tent, a cooler or 2, and then go to the racetrack, because I'm telling you right now, this thing is the perfect peeper hauler, but it's also the perfect track weapon to freak everybody out. Imagine going by a Porsche 911 and just waving by as you zoom off into the distance. That's what this car could do if you have the skills. But since we're talking about performance, if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's go through some twisty bits and see what this AMG E63 S is all about. All right, guys, here we go. Manual shift mode. Drop it down to first. On throttle, here we go. Oh my God. Wow. My God. The pops, the bangs. This wagon is amazing. Absolutely ridiculous. The performance of this car is absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. I gotta breathe for a second here. I really do. The vehicle goes from corner to corner so fast. It just propels you, and going the manual shift mode is really the way to go, because you're able to set yourself up perfectly for what gear you want to be in as you exit the turn. And the shifts are very, very fast, very smooth. They do not upset the chassis. Those massive golden nugget, those Fort Knox gold bars worth of calipers on those carbon ceramic rotors are worth every penny. Give you such great braking feel, such great braking feel. But I don't know about you, I want to do that again. All right, guys, once again, first gear, on throttle, yeah! Look at this. This thing is a beast. The way that the all-wheel drive system is clawing at the road, and what's great is it's allowing some action at the back end of the business where that tail could come out just a little bit so I could square off the corner. But I don't think I have been in a vehicle recently where this size of the vehicle, the weight of the vehicle, and this much horsepower, I'm able to carry so much speed through the twisty bits. So much speed because of that 4MATIC all-wheel drive system. And when you come out of the turn, so once you hit your apex, when you get back on throttle, the torque is instantaneous and it's ripping your arms right from their freaking sockets because you're trying to hold on to the steering wheel. That's the kind of performance. And then, like I said, you're getting that usability where you can drive this every single day. It's mind-blowing. It really is, the technology and what AMG and Mercedes is doing. Unbelievable. All right, guys, one more time. It's drizzling a little bit, but I'm actually happy that it is to showcase this all-wheel drive and performance of this vehicle on throttle. Here we go. Oh my God. Look at this. Wow. The shifts are so smooth. Absolutely stunning. I'm so glad that we were able to bring this to you, have a little fun in the twisty bits, and really showcase what an AMG product is capable of. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. On a racetrack, it'd be ridiculous. But we're gonna get back to that special location and wrap this one up, so I'll see you in a split second. All right, guys. It's been a mind-blowing day. Right now, my frontal lobe is just a big bucket of mush. But definitely, this AMG E63 S is a supercar, muscle car of a wagon. I definitely want to thank Baron and the rest of the crew over at Mercedes Benz USA for allowing Ladies Rides access to this unique vehicle. Having that wagon capability, not many wagons around, having that beautiful blue Magno color. This is exactly, if I wanted to be different, if I wanted to be a little bold, and I wanted to have something that does it all, this AMG E63 S really checks off all the boxes. And when comparing it to an Audi Avant RS6, even though it doesn't have the flared fenders, I think I'm going this route. 603 horsepower, sounds just about right to me. But if you want to keep seeing supercar wagons and just amazing pieces of machinery here on Ladies Rides, leave a comment in the comment section. If you're new and you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Ladies Rides family. If you want to help us keep making great content just like this, click that link in that description. Get yourself some Ladies Rides merch. Got to give it up to the queen of the camera. She is in love with this wagon. She was driving it and just having the time of her life. Won a couple races here and there at the local stoplights. So thank you, Lori, for all that you do. Show her some love in that comment section. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.